के लिए कदम मेरा बेदीरा ऊपर तो सड़ो तो जना राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर श्यामा गौरी अंगे निभो चंदन गंधा श्यामा गौरी अंगे निभो चंदन गंधा श्यामर गुलाबो कवे हेरी मुख चंद्र राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर गतिया मना धीमना दिवो भदले गतिया मना धीमना दिवो भदले आधार दुनिया निवो कर्पूर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर ललिता विशाखानी जड सखी वृंदा ललिता विशाखानी जड सखी वृंदा अज्ञाय कोरीमो सेवा चरणारविंदा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरानो दासा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरानो दासा सेवा विनाशम करे नरोत्तम दासा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जीवाने मरणे घटी रोनाने हो हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय। Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna, pranams. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I don't know. I'll try playing Kartal as usual. I'm using a Bluetooth headset. I don't know if the Kartal will be still audible or not, but I'll just go ahead and save time here because I have to cover a lot of things today. And as you know, Radharani, glorification of Radharani is very, very, very difficult. I'll tell you the reason is because I hear so many lectures. Every Sunday I go to temple, but only we hear about Radharani during Radhashtami day only. And some lectures of Amarendra Prabhu or Radhesham Prabhu are available. But otherwise, generally, if you notice, we read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Most of the time in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada has used Radharani only as a pleasure potency, in that too in the last shloka. So, and it is a very confidential matter. But I don't know why Providence chose me to be this day. Today, I never expected that to happen. I don't know why I was chosen, but maybe some past life, something I have done that Radharani felt that I should glorify. All right. So Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. I mean, you are able to hear my Kartal? Not? Sorry.
No,
Am
we
I
can't
audible?
hear the
No,
Kartal.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible.
Is it? I am audible, but not the Kartal. Okay.
वो
जय
zoom ऐसे ही
गोपी।
होता है, इंस्ट्रूमेंट नहीं सुनाई देते हैं प्रभु।
अच्छा हाँ, हो सकता है मेरी, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं आगे। यशोदानंद जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवर धारी, जय गिरिवर धारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव, जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय राधा राधे हरि राधा राधे हरि राधे, जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे, जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे, जय राधे जय राधे, जय श्री राधे, जय राधे जय राधे, जय राधे जय श्री राधे, राधे 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 गोविंद 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 राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद, बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, बिंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव सुभद्रा माई जय सुदर्शना, जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी, नयन पथगामी बाबा तुम्हें गगन सिंगारे, सिंगारे नरसिंगारे, जय नरसिंगारे, जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद, प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद, जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय, निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Hare Krishna. Today we are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Bhagavad Puran, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter 32, 17 to 21. I hope these are my shlokas. Is it correct, Mataji? 17 to 21? Yeah, I think you are also doing. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, yes, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So I have 15 minutes to 20 minutes to cover all these shlokas. So we'll see what best we can do. But let me cover one or two shlokas and read it quickly. So Srimad Bhagavatam 3.32.17. Rajasa Kuntha Manasa Kamatmano Achitendriya Pitra Yajanti Anudinam Griheshva Abhiratasya. Synonyms: Rajasa, by the mood of passion; Kunta, full of anxiety; Manasa, their minds; Kama, Atmana, aspiring for sense gratification. So generally, we aspire to become devotees. So here the shloka is saying Kama Atmana, means from the innermost desire, we are aspiring for sense gratification. And instead of becoming Jita, it says Ajita, means uncontrolled. Indriya, their senses. So with the use of senses which are supposed to enjoy, the shloka is using these words to say that the forefathers, the Pitra, the Yajanti, the forefathers, and Yajanti, they worship Anudinam, every day, Griheshu, in home life, Abhirata, engaged, Asaya, their minds. Now, before even I start translation, I just want to let you know that you will notice in your life, and I think we were also like that, but maybe we have to avoid being like this even now in the stage where we are Grihasthas. So for a Grihastha, if you notice, many people, I'm seeing this every day. If Krishna gives them good wife, good children, good body, physically well, they do yoga to become more physically well, they want to look attractive, they have good villas, they've got good cars, they've got good everything, parents are old, there or not there, everything going well, their life becomes like a fort, and they guard their things. Even one scratch in their car, they are not able to tolerate. Okay? So this happens with everybody, and they feel, if anybody shouts at their child, I am supposed to shout at my child, not you. Even they will overlook anybody correcting their child in a proper way. See, there was one incident in my personal life when my son was slapped by another neighbor just because her son pushed my son, and my son also pushed him, and both got hurt. And they're also middle class family like me. So when the mother came, I realized and I said, why did you hurt him? So even when I am saying today, they also, such people, we people, become possessed of our child. Although her son pushed, so I said, you, instead of hitting, because my son got red mark on his cheeks. So I said, see what happened. You hurt him physically. Your son hurt my son hurt your son. But what you did, you also do the same thing to my son. So what shall I do? Now 2-1 हो गया है, तो क्या 2-all मैं करूं कि I go and hit your son in front of you? Will it look nice? Had I done this? So I was also very little possessive, but I was not wrong, I think. That's what I still feel. But she agreed that she should have not hit the child. Instead of, she would have come to me and complained. So that all is okay. Little possessiveness, even we all have. And for the betterment of the child, because hitting never causes any issues, okay? Never really removes the problems in a child, at least in a child. To certain age, you can hit. As Radhanand Maharaj says, after some age, you have to treat them as friends. Otherwise, they will literally develop some other friends, and then you will be in deeper problem. And then, you grow old and they grow up in their own respective silos and life. And then they don't become devotees or they don't adapt to your habits. So this Grihastha life is very challenging. Okay. It's not that brahmachari life is not, because day before yesterday on Sunday, when I was there hearing Radhashyam Prabhu's class, he said grass is always greener on the other side. So if you come to join brahmachari ashram, you would have thought for grihasthas that their life is still better. So really, it is very difficult to say which life is better. So we know the answer is whether grihastha or brahmachari, you have to be Krishna consciousness based on your triguna bhav with which you are born. If you are done with your past lives with a lot of enjoyment, they may take to brahmachari ashram, but it is not guaranteed that whichever ashram you take to, you get relieved of this material sense gratifications. So that's why you will notice that a lot of families are there who, because of Krishna's or their past mercy of Krishna and past life good karma, they develop a fort-like material life. Now you see what I'm going to discuss, and then you will understand why did I put this point. So, because see, practically we read Bhagavatam, but we have to see where are we living. We are all living in a country, in a state, in a city like Bangalore or XYZ city, wherever you belong to. You cannot shut your eyes to the current surroundings, because that doesn't solve the purpose. Otherwise, God would have given us, blind and or sent us on a, give us a birth through a tree. He gave us purposefully a birth in a society. So all the society norms have to be followed to a certain extent, so that our Krishna consciousness is not disturbed. But you will notice that when you follow all these surroundings, actually your understanding to Krishna consciousness deepens further, because Krishna consciousness means way of living life in a Krishna's desired way. So you have to live a life there in spiritual world also, material world also. That's the point. So we cannot avoid being grihasthas or brahmachari, because there is no third ashram at least actually available in the Shastras. You may develop, that is our choice. Translation. Such persons impelled by the mode of passion are full of anxieties and always aspire for sense gratification due to uncontrolled senses. They worship the forefathers, they are busy day and night, improving the economic condition of their social or national life. That's what I was trying to say. They create a fort, and what do? You prevent the fort. So if the electricity goes away in the fort, you will try to get the electricity. If your food is coming shortage, you will attack some other kingdom and try to bring the food, try to bring the money. But you will try to do everything to keep your fort alive. That is what Grihastha life is. I'm comparing with different kingdoms. So you become the owner of the kingdom. You become, even when you were young, you were at least respecting your father. But at a certain time, it will happen. You will end up saying to your father, Papa, ab aap hi old ho gaya. You are old. You please hear me. To a certain extent, it is true also, because parents also don't realize where to draw a line, because everybody is contaminated. Everybody is conditioned. But we have to go, in a seesaw manner. Sometimes parents will be right, sometimes we will be right, like this. So there is no, it happens then with us. Our children will see the changing world more rapidly than what we can, and we'll continue with our old thinking. Then our children will say, Papa, you don't know, life has changed. So we will also face the same music, what they were facing, our parents. So there is no utopian life. There is no. Okay, so this was your first shloka in the purport. Om Agyan Timram Dasya Gyananjam Shalakaya Chakshloon Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manuvishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padagamnam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvedam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalita Shri Vishaka Navitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Vancha Kaltarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Upam karoti vachanam bangam langyayate girim yat kripataham bande Shri Guru Dina Taranam. Savera mana Krishna padara vindayo Savera mana Krishna padara vindayo. Srimati Radharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So on this wonderful occasion of Sri Radhashtami Mahamotsav, we are reading Bhagavatam, third canto, status quo, chapter 32. And in this shloka, as we know, in this entire few chapters, Devati had asked a question to her son Kapila, and Lord Kapila is answering. So don't get confused with Kapila Muni, but he is Lord Kapila, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's telling, she had asked questions, that how I become Krishna consciousness. So the Lord is telling so many things. In this, he's telling that some of the grihasthas, they're not able to come over the idea of, their own economic condition of their family and social or national life. So here the national word, if you notice, and social and national life, I think Prabhupada is using this in a very merciful way to us. Imagine what Prabhupada is actually. I don't know if there is a national meaning in the word meaning, right? But when he says ashaya, their minds, right? In the translation, he's using the condition of a family wife because he knows family is surrounded by society and society behaves the way the nation behaves. Means small societies and make a nation of a similar kind of people. So he is very merciful in making us Bhagavatam understand. He has tweaked the Bhagavatam in such a way that really we practically understand. And that is why our purpose of these lectures are not to theoretically cover, but to go further deeper than what Prabhupada has already opened the door. Then we should walk inside those doors and see how we practically apply to this life. So, as we all know, when we are trying to run our grihastha lives, we are bound to be impelled by passion. And passion brings anxiety. Because our genuine desire is to enjoy things because our senses are not under our control. And so we do everything and anything to make our life happy. In that, we worship sometimes our forefathers day and night, thinking some dosha, right? Some dosha will be removed from my family. Because then we go and see horoscope, we show our hands, palms, everything to the astrologer. An astrologer tells you to wear this, that, this. Why? Just to remove anxieties from life because there are some problems. Now, no harm in doing that. I have seen even devotees going and wearing rings, showing to astrologer, wearing along with Kantimala, something here, there, I mean, we also wear this Jagannath Rath Yatra or some Abhishekam happens. Then I get Kalava from the temple and I wear. Then I went home. My mother did some homa, so that red Kalava came from there. So like that, why they do? So that some miseries are ward off. Not bad. But finally, our reason should be to move beyond that and look towards the larger meanings of life. So what are those larger meanings of life? Let's go and read next shloka. If some devotee who is very quick in reading can, so since it's an interaction session. So
Vasudha Mataji can read
yes,
this
yes.
shloka. Prabhuji, and shloka number 18, right?
Yes, Mataji. I have
Vasudha
just
Mataji,
covered
read
some.
the shloka. Prabhuji, you want us to read the word meaning or the translation, anything?
No word meanings,
yes.
only translation and purport if some can read very quickly. We will
Sure.
cover shlokas like this.
Vasudha
You give.
Mataji, you read the shloka, Prashanti Mataji, the translation, and then we'll see about the purport, Prabhuji.
Mataji, may I read the purports? I'll read it fast.
Yeah, Mataji, you read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषा विमुखा हरिमेधसः कथायां कथनीयोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Such persons are called Vargika because they are interested in the three elevating processes. They are averse to the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can give relief to the conditioned soul. They are not interested in the Supreme Personality's pastimes, which are worth hearing because of his transcendental prowess. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Purport.
Meenakshi Mataji, you are doing the purport?
Yes, Mataji, I shall read.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. According to Vedic thought, there are four elevating principles, namely religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Persons who are simply interested in material enjoyment make plans to execute prescribed duties. They are interested in the three elevating processes of religious rituals, economic elevation, and sense enjoyment. By developing their economic condition, they can enjoy material life. Materialistic persons are therefore interested in those elevating processes which are called Trivargika. Tri means three. Vargika means elevating process. Such materialistic persons are never attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they are antagonistic towards him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is here described as Hari Medaha, or he who can deliver one from the cycle of birth and death. Materialistic persons are never interested in hearing about the marvelous pastimes of the Lord. They think that they are fictions and stories, and that the Supreme Head, Godhead, is also a man of material nature. They are not fit for advancing in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Such materialistic persons are interested in newspaper stories, novels, and imaginary dramas. The factual activities of the Lord, such as Lord Krishna's acting in the battle of Kurukshetra, or the activities of the Pandavas, or the Lord's activities in Vrindavana or Dwarka, are related in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which are full of the activities of the Lord. But materialistic persons who are engaged in elevating their position in the material world are not interested in such activities of the Lord. They may be interested in the activities of a great politician or a great rich man of this world, but they are not interested in the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranam.
Pranam. So before the next person you allocate for reading the next shloka, I think we have till 21, 19, 20, 21, 3 more are remaining. I'll just say a few realizations here, what I have. And of course, since today I'm giving Katha, so I won't be able to give time because I have to cover Radharani also. But doesn't mean that I only have the only so-called person in this world who has this realization. Everybody has their own and should be. So, see, there was a time when I was working in a company. During recess, I used to do Bhagavad Gita course. So one day, one of my office colleague who used to handle data centers, I'm in IT, so we both were working in a data center environment when suddenly he got a shock from some of the switch. So big servers are there, so he got a shock and he said, "Don't touch this, it has a shock." So that was the first time he spoke to me, and we knew each other. We were gazing each other, but I was very new to that company, and in the recess time I used to go. So that way we became friends. And so one day he said, during lunchtime, I generally don't see you sitting in the cafeteria. You always bring your tiffins. I said, yeah, it offered food. So he started knowing about me, and so he appreciated some of the points. And I thought maybe he's interested, so I'll one day call him for a class. And I immediately called him one day, very, dar ke, because office colleagues, it can boomerang in a different direction. So I said, just to office, and since we were walking down outside the office in the park, so I said, why don't you join me today? We do some session where some friends join together to read Bhagavad Gita. And he said, no, today I'll not come. I said, okay, fine. Like that, whenever I used to ask him, and once I was working with him early in the morning, some server issue. I again told him, come. So he said, no. Then one day he said, every day you ask me and I'm not coming. The reason is I smoke. So I cannot come. I was like, oh, so, but I had heard about pastimes of some of the, like Yamuna Mataji, who sang Govinda's Adi Purusham. Same. So I said, don't worry. It has happened that come to the class and then go and smoke. No problem. You leave smoking only. Anyway, if I ask you to leave smoking, you'll never leave smoking. So you do. But at least come. So he said, no. I know if I have to come, I have to leave smoking. He said that. And he never came. Believe me, he never came. I lost. I said, okay, fine. And I stopped pestering him because it's an office environment. I can't cross my boundaries. What if he complains to HR or something? In the end, Krishna's message was very close to him. I don't know if he has become a Krishna conscious person now or not. I have no idea. I'm not in touch with him. But this is not new. This is not new. It happens. People, especially the Grihasthas, and when you talk about them, some are to that extent that they know that it's good to come, but they don't want to give up sense gratification, like in this case, my friend from data center. And some of them have gone a little deeper down to the material desires, so they become averse. The moment you say Krishna, they will start showing their irritations in such a way that they will say, why only Krishna? Why don't you worship that? Why don't you worship this? Forget that they will accept. They will try to put you down. That happens. And like, for example, in just before Corona, I was sitting in the cafeteria and I was taking a sweet milk, which is lassi. Because when you are spending 9 hours, you have to have something. So I had Om Tat Sat and I was taking sweet. So that friend of mine said, Are, I never see you taking anything. Today you are taking. And what did you do? Om something. I just said Om Tat Sat and I took. Then he became, again, he tried asking so many questions. The next day, see what happens. Next day, we were all in a group and I'm all telling all my practical realizations, what I found. So they said, some of them, ordered non-veg food. So they said, so that gentleman, one of my friends said, hey, eat little away from this person because he doesn't like this. I said, no, guys, you eat. I'm on the end of this table, no problem. Team building exercises, so many things we remain together. So you have to maintain a decorum, and this is practical life. So I was just, and I was just sitting with them. Then suddenly somebody made a very, very cranky joke. I don't know if the cranky is the right word. Very wacky joke. He said, "Arey yaar, do you want to eat something?" I said, no, I'm okay. No, we'll give you. I heard you don't take onion garlic. I said, yeah. Okay, I'll give you chicken without onion garlic. Okay. The moment he said that, Haribol, are you guys able to hear me? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the moment he said that, I also smiled. What do I do? Because I've been hearing all these things. I kept quiet. I said, then they spoke for another 15 minutes about this devotion and non-devotion. And they literally cut me apart, and I was just observing and hearing. And I was not repelling, actually. So they were, and you see what they talk. They were just trying to say that, are these artificial things? Then they started going to animals eating, tiger eating non-veg, then God doesn't say this. You see, what we teach people not to do is what they were using it as a question, and they themselves were answering. And everybody was a Grihastha over there, and each one of is a Krishna soul from Goluka. And they may be, although Krishna is same for everyone, he takes care of everyone, but currently in that format, they were almost appearing inimical. And then they started getting into the level of blaming ISKCON. So I got up from there and I went away when these people realized something happened and somebody said he may complain to HR, and reverse happened. Then they came back behind me. I'm telling you, all these things do happen in practical life. But as a devotee, you can only avoid hearing such things. But certain situations you have to hear with pain in your heart. And believe me, they then thought that he will complain, so they started pestering me. They're sorry, guys. And then, just a couple of months back, Janmashtami came and invited among 8-9 people, 7 came to Janmashtami. This happened in Bangalore. All they were making my fun, and they're all my everyday colleagues. You can't avoid them. You have to work with them because of bread. And that's how Krishna teaches you practically that you have to undergo these things. And 7 of them came to Janmashtami. In Jayanagar, we used to do Kushlamma Kalyan Chaudhary. So that was also, see how things move. But we know that what Bhagavatam says is true. We get so much into Grihastha life that we tend to become inimical to the same person who has given us this body, the same person who owns this world. We become inimical. And they almost show tendencies that they are never interested in hearing about the pastimes. If you tell them something, they will tell you the reverse stories. So these are all the things what we may have done in past life. I may have done this in the past life, but now I've come to this level, and I was praying at least they improve in this current life, if not at least in the next life. So it's a cycle. Everybody goes through. It's my time to hear this. It will be their time, maybe in the next life. I should say this life itself, but seems to be difficult. They may be in the next life. So Krishna gives Bahunam, Janmas. All right, we'll go for 19. I'm just trying to relate these things of what we face in our day-to-day life.
Hare
Bhagavatam,
Krishna,
whatever Prabhupada
Ramakrishna
is saying
Prabhu, you will
also.
do the shloka?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yeah, Krishnamurti
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you do the translation. And Prabhuji, I'll read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
And we'll finish all the shlokas and then I'll say something.
Nunam daivena vihata e achyuta kata sudham hitva shunvatya sadgata purishami pavidbujaha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams Prabhuji.
How are you?
Fine Prabhuji. Thank you Prabhuji. Translation by V.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Such persons are recommended by the supreme order of the Lord because they are averse to the nectar of the activities of the supreme personality of Godhead. They are compared to stool-eating hogs. They give up hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord and indulge in hearing of the abominable activities of materialistic persons. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everyone is addicted to hearing of the activities of another person, whether a politician or a rich man or an imaginary character whose activities are created in a novel. There are so many nonsensical literature, stories, and books of speculative philosophy. Materialistic persons are very interested in reading such literature, but when they are presented with genuine books of knowledge like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Puran, or other scriptures of the world, such as the Bible and Quran, they are not interested. These persons are condemned by the supreme order as much as a hog is condemned. The hog is interested in eating stool. If the hog is offered some nice preparation made of condensed milk or ghee, he won't like it. He would prefer obnoxious, bad smelling stool, which he finds very relishable. Materialistic persons are considered condemned because they are interested in hellish activities and not in transcendental activities. The message of the gods' activities is nectar, and besides that message, any information in which we may be interested is actually hellish. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so you move to the next shloka, but before the some person speaks, I just got some thoughts here. So it appears from this sentence that if once a Lord punishes such people, they have to undergo that punishment. That is true Yes. So, but imagine we are all children of the Lord. Is Lord happy to create hells? Is Lord happy to create hell in his creation? Answer is no.
No,
No,
Prabhuji.
no. He's not happy because I was doing Bhakti Manjari course, Bhakti Vriksha's, I think, initial Bhakti Vriksha course and Bhakti Manjari course, I think. So in that, in fact, sorry, I was not in that class, in the Nectar of Devotion course, which I did a couple of years back. The last sentence Prabhuji spoke, Ravindra Prabhuji taught us was, he said, every soul when it leaves Goluka, Krishna goes and weeps at the shoulder of Radharani. Srimati Radharani ki jai.
Yeah.
He goes and weeps. Oh my dear Radhe. Oh my dear Radha. Radha, not Radhe. Krishna is known as Radhe. Radha ka Radhe. Radha ka Krishna means Radhe. So I'll tell you why this happens. That today in this class, I will, with my little realization, I'll tell you why Krishna goes and weeps there for every soul. We will see that in the glorification of Radharani today. So he's unhappy with this. So it is written that the hog is interested in eating food. Is Prabhupada happy to write dogs, stools, fools, rascals? Do you think Prabhupada was happy to write like this? No.
No problem.
Lot of people actually, when come initially to ISKCON, and even in the court case in Russia, they raise these points that this gentleman has written calling people hog, calling people Muda, calling people rascals. But still ISKCON won the case because the devotees proved it, that he was not happy writing this. If he would have been happy writing this, why did he created this literature? He created this literature or took the purports and designed in his way, in so that, because Bhagavad Gita he took from Gorakhpur Press Express, right? Gita. He completely changed it. No Shloka translation, he put it and everything. And Gita Press Express knows this, that he has made changes. And they feel we are privileged that he has made changes. Although they print their own Bhagavad Gita separately. But Prabhupada took the base copy over there and just changed it. He didn't create everything on his own, but he was almost, I mean, he himself named it Bhakti Vedanta. Nobody knew that he's Bhakti Vedanta, except his spiritual master, who knew his potencies. So please always, we have to remember that he was not happy writing all this. But we guys are such naughty. We are, all the souls, we cannot call them hogs. When we are reading this, don't ever think they are hogs. Because when we say they are hogs, the three fingers coming to it, you are also a hog. So three fingers point towards it. You are a hog means three fingers saying you are similarly triple times a hog. And we are. We take Krishna for granted, like Vishnu Jana Maharaj wrote it in the kitchen. Never take Krishna for granted. And this is message we wrote it for initiated, second initiated, Brahmana initiated, not for normal people. They don't know what Krishna is. How will they take him for granted? If you take him for granted, is a very serious mistake done only by devotees, not by those who still have not understood Krishna, although everybody is from Goluka or everybody is Krishna's part and parcel that way. So let's go and read the next. So please remember these words have been used not to hurt anybody, but just to break our ego and bring us to the right platform. Yes, 20 and 21. I think I have 12
Vishwanu
minutes.
Mataji, you do the shloka. Suma Mataji, translation and purport, and very quickly. Hare Krishna.
Quickly, because we have to finish Radharani's glorification.
हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी दक्षिणेन पथारिमृणः पितृलोकव्रजन्ति ते प्रजामनु प्रजायन्ते श्मशानान्त क्रियाकृतः.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Such materialistic persons are allowed to go to the planet called Pitruloka by the southern course of the sun. But they again come back to this planet and take birth in their own families. beginning again the same fruitive activities from birth to the end of life. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. In the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, verse 21, it is stated that such persons are elevated to the higher planetary system. As soon as their lifetime of fruitive activity are finished, they return to this planet, and thus they go up and come down. Those who are elevated to the higher planets again come back into the same family for which they had too much attachment. They are born, and the fruitive activities continue again until the end of life. There are different prescribed rituals from birth until the end of life, and they are very much attached to such activities. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, let's finish the next one also so that we can then summarize.
Anita Mataji, you do the shloka and the translation. And who else is there? Naukishori Acharya. Naukishori Mataji, you can do the translation and
Hare
the
Krishna.
shloka. And Anita Mataji, you do the purport.
ततस्ते क्षीणसुकृताः पुनर्लोकमिमं सति पतन्ति विवशा देवै सद्यो विभ्रंशितोदयाः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they fall down by higher arrangement and again come to this planet, just as any person raised to a high position sometimes all of a sudden falls. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is sometimes found that a person elevated to a very high positions in government service fall down all of a sudden, and no one can check him. Similarly, after finishing their period of enjoyment, foolish person who are very much interested in being elevated to the position of president in higher planets also fall down to this planet. The distinction between the elevated position of a devotee and then that of an ordinary person attracted to fruitive activities is that when a devotee is elevated to the spiritual kingdom, he never falls down. Whereas an ordinary person falls, even if he is elevated to the highest planetary system, Brahmaloka. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuvalan Bhuvalanan Lokaha, that even if one is elevated to a higher planet, he has to come down again. But Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Mama upetya tu konteya punarjanma na vidyate. Anyone who attains my abode never comes back to this conditions life of material existence. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Haribol. So we covered all the shlokas, but just want to summarize last two. So these shlokas started with actually grihastas who are who are too much engrossed in their material life, and when they take to ward off their miseries of life, they take to pitra puja, means worshipping the pitras. So that's why they are talking about pitraloka and all that. At the same time, but it is also mentioned that since this world is like a launch pad, means in this universe, the Prithvi Loka is the Loka from where you can finally go back to Goloka. Now, what does it mean by going back to Goloka? Means the final attainment of the material contamination completely happens in this planet. You cannot enjoy or you cannot tell that I am in a Brahmaloka or in a Tapaloka and say that I'm completely free from contamination and I'm fit to go from there. I haven't heard anybody telling me that. And in scriptures, mostly they call this Bhuraloka, the Prithvi Loka, as the final place. Even demigods aspire to take birth here. So it is said that if you have not realized, you will again fall back here, because the process of getting free from contamination happens in this life. And unless Krishna doesn't want you to come back and serve him as a capacity of delivering others in the form of a spiritual master, if Krishna wants you to become a spiritual master and expert, how can you say no? And you cannot say, oh, I have a spiritual master today. So every spiritual master already has a spiritual master. So maybe next birth, Krishna may promote you as a spiritual master, or some devotee who is a pujari and continuously serve Krishna. So the point is, you will never come back once you understood that this is not my permanent place. Because that is what realization Krishna wanted to you. Bhavanan Jannamante Gyanvan Mam Prapatete Vasudevam Sarvamiti. That this life is not all to all. There is one more life over there where we have to go. When we have realized what is the point, Krishna, kept on pestering you to be here, or you will feel outsider here. Anyway, this is not my life. So whenever any material problem will happen to you, or your incapability, say suppose your son could not clear some IIT ka exam. So then how do you take it? Okay, he worked hard. It's not that he was watching movies. He worked hard, could not clear IIT. So you have two answers to give. One is population is so high, exams are so difficult. How will he clear? Second thing, he's not supposed to enter into IIT and all, because that's not our natural. This life is a cooked life. In case we are creating IITs, and I'm not blaming IITs. I'm not blaming today's institution. That is necessary. But what I'm saying is, if we take the burdens of this civilization as the only things what we are meant to do in this life, then that is wrong. You just cannot say that this life is all in all. That's where the material people go wrong. They think this life is all in all. If my son has not done engineering, or if he has not done, is not earning good money, that means I have lost prestige in front of everybody. So we are comparing, we have become miserable, and we don't realize that this world is a cooked world, and we souls live here by choice, and we eat what we spit, or we chew what we throw. Like it's like a chewing gum, somebody ate and throw it. Here it's very bad, you pick up and eat like this, right? Or Prabhupada gives an example of a camel eating cactus. So the blood of the lips and tongue mixes and he feels taste. That's what true. So all this, when we are clear, we know we are not people from this world, and that is why so much confusion is happening. Krishna doesn't need us to know anything else. He may ask us to come again and practice the same concept. That's all. But if you have, and that is why it is necessary that you practice this concept in the association of devotees. So some people think, I will never visit a temple, I will continue serving here because in temple I have to understand this. Despite several difficulties in ISKCON environment, difficulties you may face, you should still continue. And because then that is how you will practice. If the devotional environment sometimes acknowledge you and promote you, sometimes it will not, it will give you annoyance also. But you have to continue practicing. Like how when you don't give up in your material jobs, you can't give up even in devotional service. Because material job, if you leave, how will you get the next bread? Or my parents would have been crore-patis, they would have given me everything I would have. So with this, I come to the last 5-6 points I've summarized here. Let's have Radha Rani's, if you can give me 10 more minutes, we will be done. 7 to 8 minutes I will take extra. So can we start Radha Rani's glorification? If you are all okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Okay. All right. So Srimati Radharani, also called as Radha or Radhike or Radhike, is the dearmost consort of Lord Krishna. And when Krishna appeared 5,000 years back in Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani also appeared as the daughter of King Vrishnabhanu and Kirtida. So today is the Radhashtami day. So Radhashtami Mahamahotsav ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Jai. So Vrishnabhanu, it so happened one day that he is actually staying in Mathura. He was, or I would say, why I'm saying is because these are eternal pastimes. So somewhere these pastimes are still enacted in some of the universes. So he's actually in every pastime, he's the head of the Vaishya community and cowherd men. And he's very rich because he has a lot of cows and possessions of cows and grains. And his close friend was Nand Maharaj, the king of Gokula and Nandagram. So one day it so happened that Vishnubhanu goes to river Yamuna to take a bath. It was a midday time. He was captivated to see a very nice, beautiful golden lotus flower, which was shining like anything, brilliantly glowing, like Anantakoti Suryas. Crores and crores of Surya's suns are burning, and the light is coming. The king, he goes in the marshy land and goes and catches hold the lotus. And he was surprised to see this beautiful girl, half, covered by the lotus leaves itself. And then he, a brilliant effulgence. One second, I'm getting a call. Let me. Somebody called. How important, but I've canceled it. So when the king saw this baby, he was just pondering and thinking, what am I seeing? He could not believe his eyes. When Lord Brahma appeared and spoke to him that Vishnubhanu, you are extremely fortunate to see this divine girl. And this divine girl is the divine mother of all the created creations, what you see around you, and also your mother. In your previous life, Brahma tells him that you and your wife underwent severe austerities and sacrifices and penances, and you wanted the goddess of fortune to become your mother in response to your prayers. Now, this is a very good point Brahmaji brings. In response to your prayers. So, in this life, in this world, anything and everything what you notice doesn't happen without an action. You need some action to see reaction, right? It is always seen that, right? When you speak politely, others will speak politely to you. So you do something, you see a reaction. So this is a proven here, even in Krishna consciousness, that since Krishna has given you courage, has given you body, has given you strength, he also wants you to walk one step towards him. Then he will take 10, 200 steps towards you. Even half a step sometimes people take, Krishna takes 1,000 steps. You may take 1,000 steps, Krishna may take 2,000 steps or even one step. But generally they say it's more. You walk 10 minutes towards Krishna, Krishna walks 1 hour towards you. That means he's entering your heart more than what you can actually digest. But he gives you, because then you become pure. Then you start entering, and you are meant. We are his part and parcel. So our inherent potency is to accept Krishna in an unlimited way, and that is why in spiritual world Krishna can expand unlimited times, and a soul also can expand unlimited times. This is fact. And so here Lord Brahma is telling him that Supreme Personality of Godhead is reciprocating to your desire of getting Lakshmi as your daughter, the fortune, goddess of fortune. So, Srimati Radharani, his beloved consort, is now born as a daughter. So, please take very nice care. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also, it is said, Ateva Sarva Pujya Parama Devata Sarva Palika Sarva Jagatera Mata. So what Brahma says, it's written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says that Radharani is a Parama Devata. Sarva Pujya means supremely worshipable. Sarva Palika means she is the protectress of all. Example, Prabhupada says is, if Krishna rejects you, but Radharani accepts you, Krishna feels obliged to accept you. Means, although he felt you are not ready to be in his association of near and dear ones, and because you lost that position, but you have made Radharani happy by impressing her then for sure you will come to that level. And so she's Sarva Jagatera Mata. She's mother of all the universe and protector, Sarva Palika. And that is why Lord Brahma also says she's being told as goddess of fortune. So where do we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela? She's referred to as Sarva Lakshmi Shabda Purve Sarva Lakshmi Shabde Purve Karyachi Vyakhyana Sarva Lakshmi Ganera Tinho Hana Adhisthana. So basically, what it is said that I have already explained on. It is written there that it is explained the meaning of Sarva Lakshmi. Sarva Lakshmi Shabda Purve Karyachi Vyakhana. He is telling that in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is written that the Lakshmi whom the shloka was mentioning earlier, the writer of this Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is telling, I have already mentioned Sarva Lakshmi. Who is this Sarva Lakshmi? Sarva Lakshmi Ganahe Tinho Hana Adhisthana. So then Sarva Lakshmi, Radha is the original source of goddess of fortune. So what goddess of fortune Lord Brahma told Vishnu that you have achieved, you have not even achieved goddess fortune, you have achieved the concept creator of goddess of fortune, which is Radharani herself. Right? Why she's been referred, she is goddess of fortune, but she's called as mother of goddess of fortune. There is a reason. Because there are, when even technically if you speak, when a baby girl is born, लोग नहीं कहते आपके घर में लक्ष्मी पैदा हुई. That is why Radharani is supposed to be so merciful. She gives, let others also get the upadhi or get the position of a fortune. अरे आपके घर में तो देवी पैदा हुई, अरे आपके घर में लक्ष्मी पैदा. That is why, because goddess of fortune is Radharani is so that she lets you become the fortunes, if not at least goddess of fortune or supreme goddess of fortune, you become also fortunes. You will become your daughter becomes the ansha of the fortune, right, like that. So that is why she lets everybody else being glorified, and in return we glorify Radharani. So Krishna is pleased. So like that, Lord Brahma, when he says, is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So for Lakshmi also, Radha is the source of all goddess of fortune. It's also said, Sarva Saundarya Kanti Vaishave Yanhate Vaishe Yanhate Sarva Lakshmi Ganera Shobha Haya Yanha Haite. The word Sarva Kanti indicates that all the beauty and luster rests in her body. And Vrishna Bhanu, when saw her, he was, imagine the lotus in itself was shining, but the lotus was shining because of Radharani. That lotus was also, which is taking, imagine how beautiful that soul which is inside that lotus must be feeling, because it was effulging. And in that lotus, like how Panchajanya Shankh, when Krishna plays, when he's coming to Dwarka, he's actually plays the Panchajanya Shankh, ooh, karke. And so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that the rising sun, how it is reddish, yellowish, that color the lips of the Lord is. And when he's touching the lips to the Panchajanya Shankh, which is so white in color. My kurta is white, but it still has some shades, maybe undershirt is visible or something, Some problem is there in this whiteness. That's what I'm trying to say. Or it's not washed properly. My machine is old, so it may not be like that. This whiteness is not that whiteness. It just appears to be white. But the whiteness, what we are referring of Panchajanya Shankh is spiritual whiteness. You can imagine that spiritual whiteness when Krishna touches with his lotus, kisses with his lotus lips, kisses the Panchajanya Shankh. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, I am getting goosebumps. That same goosebumps what Shankha is facing, and that Shankha is blushing and becoming of the same color as the lips of the Lord. So that, I mean, it is becoming so Rom harsh, Roma harsha, like, right? There's a king Roma harsha, that's not I'm done. Uska Rom mein harsh ho raha tha, means he was feeling the ecstasy of spiritual, um, the height and the height, the spiritual, final spiritual pleasure, what a Shankha can achieve, that was coming. Exactly same thing. Same thing even Vishnu Bhanu was carrying when he saw Radharani first time in her hands. And he saw, and it was looking like Sarvakanti, indicates all the beauties and pleasure that luster rest in our body. That same luster, same pleasure, when we try to understand, it becomes like from luster, it becomes lust for us. Not for Radharani, for the other, ladies. A man becomes lusty of a woman becomes lusty of a man. But the attraction to the Supreme Personality of Godhead gets diverted and dilapidated here and gets, it becomes in a deteriorated way, and we start getting attraction in a wrong way, which is not bad, because Radhesham Prabhu was mentioning attraction to male and female is okay as long as it is reproduction. Of course, the grihasthas know that it's just not reproduction. We get swayed little more. I don't want to get into that, but that's the reality. But a brahmachari will always stop there and says it and goes away because he cannot speak beyond that. But as a grihastha, he has to understand it. So he goes further that I have to draw a line where reproduction and sense gratification is there. That is left to every grihastha. And that is why I was reading some place it was written that if Radharani, it's like if you feel lusty towards your wife, okay, I'm not quoting myself, I read it somewhere or I heard it in a class, that if you feel, or I read it, I'm not able to verify the source, but it's within ISKCON climate, I heard, and it was very positive, take it in a positive way, that all the wives or the men are sent to the wives, or at least they said it for Prabhujis, but it's applicable for Matajis as well, that all the Matajis come to the Prabhujis are sent messengers of Radharani saying that he's still not ready for Goluka because he's lusty towards me. Although married, although scriptures say that you be married in a civilized way, but it was written there that you can consider it as she is a messenger of Radharani, saying that Radharani, you have made me become his wife, but he is not prepared because he's very lusty. I don't want to go further than this, but I am helpless. I have to go, because if you have to really go to Goluka, you have to hear and digest and understand and undergo the process completely. You cannot ward away any topic except of the Ras Leela, which is beyond, where Acharyas have said, you have to at least contemplate these points internally. If you can't, if you feel shy of discussing it in the class, but you cannot be shy while contemplating within your own mind. Because if you have to come out of this contamination, we have to stop looking into differences between male and female. It is fact. You have to stop your material lustiness towards the other at some point of time, be it Matajis or be it Prabhujis. You have no choice if you have to come out of this thing. So that's why the same luster is what is appeared. And then Narad Muni arrives to the Vishnu Bhanu's, and then he noticed that the baby is kept on a cradle. She's crying, but she's not opening the eyes. We all know when did she open the eyes. So that is where the first meeting of Krishna and Radharani is planned. Now I want to glorify this pastime. Do I have 1 or 2 more minutes today?
Yes, Prabhu, you can do that, please. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Are you all, I don't know, I'm not able to relate it much. I'm not that purified soul, but are you able to get what I'm trying to say about Radharani? Is it
Yes,
making
Prabhuji.
you
Hare Krishna.
happy?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Is it making you happy? Genuinely.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Very
Yes,
much.
yes.
Prabhuji. Yes.
Something new you should hear. Something new we should have that mood that I know you may think that this gentleman is not purified, but then let him speak. That is why they said, Yara dekhe Tara kahe Shri Krishna. That is why when you are asked to give Bhagavatam class, please don't just give class to only those devotees who can speak well. Give class, rotate it to everybody as long as they speak in parampara. This is my 24 years lesson in ISKCON. Please give Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is my message. If this recording is being heard by all the temple presidents of ISKCON, please you don't decide who's supposed to speak. You have initiated him. Second day, Prabhupada says, give him classes. I still see this is not being religiously followed. But I want to ask at least this group, please give classes to, even if your mind says he's not a good devotee, give him as long as he speaks parampara. He doesn't hurt anybody. He doesn't speak wrong philosophy. He doesn't, you see, he's publicly condemned, then it's okay. But otherwise, don't think, अरे वो तो क्लास प्रभु जी देते ही नहीं अच्छी, बोरिंग है, नींद आती है. कोई बात नहीं. भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर कहते हैं ऐसे ही लोगों को क्लास दो. वो तो कहते थे कीर्तन के लिए, मैं तो कहता हूँ क्लास भी उन्हीं को दो. Because then you will understand that Prabhupada, why he says Yara dekhe Tara Krishna. So please give opportunity to everybody. So give me
Hare
also an
Krishna.
opportunity to glorify. I hope
Hare
you are
Krishna,
getting what
Prabhuji.
I'm.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't think
Mataji, am I not audible?
Achintya. No, you are audible, but I think Achintya the Gopinath Das Prabhu is not differentiating. ICF
Yes,
is not
yes.
differentiating, and
Very nice.
we appreciate your words. And in fact, from 2020, from COVID, it is a try of ICF that how we have to look for. जैसे मोती
Yes.
ढूंढते हैं, हम भी speakers ढूंढते हैं और हम बोलते हैं कि आइए
Yes.
और take. Yeah.
I wish.
So we are
I
serving
wish if.
Prabhupada, and we want to
Yes.
serve the at the button of touch of a button, how others can get connected, irrespective to which zone, which world, part of the world you are. So I think we are all fortunate enough to give service and to take service. Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
No. I hope you didn't get that I'm blaming you all. No.
No,
I hope
Prabhu.
you didn't get that.
Prabhu, I'm not
see,
Narayani. I'm Sugna Vrinda Devidas.
No, I
I'm
didn't say
Sugna
that you are
Vrinda
Narayani.
Devidas.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that you are Narayani Mataji. I didn't
No,
say
no,
that
I-
you are.
No,
I
no,
know
I
her,
thought
so
you
I know.
must
I
be
can. No. I can recognize her voice. She was working for ISKCON BTM, so I worked with her.
Yes,
I know her voice. I never thought that, and she generally doesn't come to these classes, at least to my sessions. I know that.
yes.
So no.
Hare
So I'm just saying this. Yeah, I'm just saying this. Good that you brought this point. I'm not saying that ISKCON temples are not following this. I always, whenever I go to the temple, I tell them give chance to everyone. Now, what happens is because nobody is completely, you see, people like Radhesham Prabhu and Radha Gopinath Prabhu and then Guru Vrinda, they're all way apart. They have given their everything. We are small grestars, finding time and everything. All right, coming to the point here is that, so Vrishna Bhanu Maharaj, so the first meeting of Krishna was when we know that it was Narad Muni who noticed that she's not opening the eyes, and he wanted Krishna to go and meet. So one day, what happened that Vrishna Bhanu made some arrangements and celebrations and invited everyone, including Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj came to the place of Vrishna Bhanu with Yashoda and Rohini and their sons Krishna and Balram. At the time, Krishna was there along with them. And so Vrishna Bhanu and Nanda Maharaj, they were exchanging greetings. And so Krishna found some time and he left their company and he crawled. And we all know he goes to the cradle, he jumps and looks towards Srimati Radharani. And then, when the first time he looked at the transcendental bodily fragrance, when he looked at Radharani, immediately Radharani opened her eyes. Srimati Radharani ki jai. So she opened the eyes and saw Krishna, and so she was so happy. And she was so blissful seeing the bodily fragrance of Krishna, which is she's so used to seeing it. She's seeing it in a different, way, in a flavor. These guys only know, they say that Krishna and Radha don't leave the planet actually. So it's their energies which they, through that energies, they look again to each other and all. It's like, only Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, who is known to be seeing the vision of Radharani, is known as Nayana Manjari. So he can really, if I wish he would have been explaining us this, how Radharani and Krishna look to each other. But that's what the exchange of the eyes happened. And at the time, she also started crying. It is as some tears started flowing, and everybody was very happy to see. And then they noticed that Radharani has opened her eyes. And then that's why that became. Now, what is this concept? You see, Krishna needs something. I need something. Suppose I need some sweet. Where do I go? I go to a sweet shop. I need Mataji needs a sari. Where does she go? She goes to a sari shop to buy a sari. You need bangles, you go to a bangles shop. Men need specs, nice jazzy goggles, because you want to wear it during sunshine. So you go to a shop which gives you nice goggles and you wear. Like this, you multiply anywhere, right? Same way, if Krishna wants pleasure, where will he go? He's a supreme person. So where he's supposed to go? Some place where supreme
Inside
person
him.
can.
Radharani.
Exactly. Yeah. Why Radharani? Because she's the
Pleasure potency.
She's the storehouse for all the desires of Krishna.
Pleasure
So
potency.
exactly. So I need a goggle. Where will I go? I'll go to the best shop in my city. So if I am supreme, say, suppose if Krishna is supreme, where will he go? Who can give him pleasure? Nobody. Everybody will fall short. So he has to have pleasure of seeing somebody or getting pleasure. He needs to go to somebody who is supremely capable like him, is Radharani. And that is why it is said, Kimvakanti Shabde Krishnera Saba Ichha Kahe Krishnera Sakala Vancha Radhatei Rahe Radhatei Rahe means, what does it mean? Kanti. Radharani is also, with this I would summarize this because it's already 10:51. So it says Kanti word has been used. Kimva Kanti Shabde Krishnera Saba Ichha Kahe Krishnera Sakala Vancha Radha Hatei Rahe means Kanti, which means all the desires of Lord Krishna. So all the desires of Lord Krishna, where do they? Vancha Radha Tehi Rahe. Radha तुझ में ही है सारे desires. That's what in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said. She is Kanti, she is the storehouse of these desires. But for who can you and me claim that all the desires what Radharani has is for us? First, foremost, the answer is yes and no. The foremost reservoir, whatever pleasure she has, is meant for Krishna first. And only for him. Then she has a motherly pleasure for all of us. That is where Ravana made a mistake. He went finding pleasure from Radharani in the form of Sita, the way that pleasure which was meant for Krishna. And that is why Kumbhakaran tells him the moment he wakes up of the night, he hears, why did you wake me up? You only told me sleep because of the boon of the Devata. Now you have wake me up, something bad has happened. He said some attack has happened. Then he asked who? He said Ram. Oh my God, what did you do? Oh, see, first of all, he told him, you have gone against somebody's wife. That is one biggest sin. On top of that, you know who Sita is? He starts lecturing. He said, okay, then if you don't go there, I will kill you. I mean, he was not happy. Vibhishana ne bhi mujhe daga diya, tu bhi daga de, nikal jaye idhar se, go. He said, no. Then he hears that Vibhishana has also left. Then, the destiny is like this. And of course, Jai Vijay, that concept is, Jai Vijay concept is there, that they are actually, coming in different pastimes. So he accepts. So like this, the pleasure of Radharani, today it's her appearance day. Her appearance is meant to give pleasure, and that's why she's known as Kanti, because she is actually the Radha Tehi Rahe, the Vancha, this Krishnera Sakala Vancha. Vancha means desires. All the Sakala Vancha, all the desires, what Krishna wants is there in Radharani, and that is why he is known as Atmaram. That is why you call Krishna as Atmaram, because he has his Radharani eternally with him. If all the souls which are part and parcels of Krishna say we don't love you, we are going away from you, all the souls, except for hypothetically, just accept that all the souls except Radharani, even Ashtasakis, they say, including, we leave you. Till Krishna and Radha are complete. Okay, you all go, even including Ashtakis go. Sorry, I'm saying this and just to make you understand how complete they are. Even to that level, that is why Krishna is Atmana. He has everything. What can you give him? You can give only your time. You can give only your nature. You cannot give him money. He is Sarvaloke Maheshwara. He has all the pleasures of the world you can ever imagine. That is Radharani. But this will never happen is because Krishna has created all of us to enjoy. That is why he will never give up on us. We can never give up on Krishna. In the end, however angry we are with Krishna, however separated we are from Krishna, in whichever bhava we have to finally go back to Krishna and Radharani. They are our supreme mother and father, and that is why on Radhashtami day today, I say that in the Nectar of Devotion, last point was that Krishna weeps in the shoulder of Radharani because he and Radharani's pleasure, although it is complete, but his own Purnamidam means incomplete, you put more. So he has created us. Before he created us as souls, he was already completed. But still he created us because he wants to become more complete, keep completing. It's like it never ends. That is why a soul which leaves, and I told you that I am going to put that point in the end, even a soul leaves Goloka. Krishna weeps so much in the shoulder of Radharani. Oh, my soul has left me. And Radharani says, don't worry, all my arrangements will get him back to you. Because मम्मी पापा बेटों के बिना अधूरे हैं. यही इस तरह से हमें लेना है. तो कृष्णा भी हमारे बिना वो पूर्ण है, लेकिन वो नहीं रहना चाहता पूर्ण हमारे बिना. वो चाहता है सब मेरे आए, सब मेरे सोने. वासुदेवम कुटुंबम. इसीलिए जब हम एक दूसरे से लड़ते हैं, when we fight, he weeps. And we then go into our karmic cycle. He's not happy calling us rascals. Prabhupada is not happy calling us fools. He calls Arjuna Muda, doesn't mean he loves calling him Muda. No, he doesn't love. Tell me, you will call your children's Muda, Bevkoof kehte ho, but do you really mean it by heart? No. He has created hell. So many souls are there in the cell. Is he happy? No, he wants everybody. Preaching programs are happening in hells also. 27 hells are there. On all 27 hells, Krishna consciousness is happening. That is why they keep progressing to the next stage and they come back to the earth planet, finally qualifying. That is why Kumara Acharit Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatam Ya Sudurlabham Manushya Janma Tadabi Adruvanam Artadam. And that is why in this entire cycle, when you go to different planets, Bahunam Jannam Ante, and that last shloka, what we can say is that where he says, Krishna Bhakti Prasada Bhai, Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. So that Bhagyavan soul is traveling here and there, up and there, 14 planets. Bhagyavan, Krishna Bhakti Prasada Bhai. He gets that message of Krishna. And then he gets Prasada of Radharani. Hari Bol. I wish that I have extended a little more. It was a very difficult task to cover 5 shlokas and Radharani's. I have not even spoken half of what I got for Radharani. But I felt this much is okay for today because I have anyway gone way ahead. But I hope you'll forgive me. If I have spoken anything against anybody, let me be very frank. I did mention this point that ISKCON temples need to go because I am part of those ISKCON temples. I have spent 24 years. I am there because ISKCON has given me so many things. I feel for it. I am not different from ISKCON. ISKCONs are Prabhupada's body. I am indebted eternally to Prabhupada. So I have the full right and leverage to speak about ISKCON in a positive way. And so that we have to improve, because without me, ISKCON will be less, and without ISKCON, I'll be nothing. So like all of us, we are part, every brick of ISKCON. ISKCON is nothing but that energy of Krishna, which was brought in together by Srila Prabhupada. And that is why I say we have to solidify ISKCON. We have to, of course, there is no utopian, right? Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was telling there is no utopian, but we have to make it appear perfect. That's the reason why I take that leverage of saying that please give Katha. You are giving, I say to all ISKCON temples, make them the beautiful places they are. Make them more and more and more beautiful. Haribol, with these positive note, I would say I'll end up this portion of my Katha, a small full stop, because Kathas never stop. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for this
Hare
wonderful
Krishna,
class,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Mataji.
Meenakshi, only one point
Yes,
I
Prabhuji.
wanted, Prabhuji, correct me. मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था कि till the time Radharani had not got the darshan of Krishna, she was not opening her eyes.
Yes,
Is it
yes.
true?
That's what I told. So what
Yes.
did you hear? What did you hear today? I told that.
ये लीला ही इसलिए हुई थी कि कृष्णा आए और उनको देखें और वो कृष्णा की तरफ देख के आंखें खुले. एक लेक्चर में बहुत ब्यूटीफुली कहा गया था.
नहीं, so please tell me, because I am getting a feeling you got different. Did I explain anything?
No.
I said the same thing.
I'm saying
Narad
she
Muni
did not
sees
open the
Radharani.
eyes. Yeah.
Yes, it was Narad Muni who saw Radharani is not opening the eyes.
Opening eyes.
So Radharani. Narad Muni always goes and make things come.
Correct. I just wanted to understand, because
yes, that is true. That is true. That's
Kirtida
what I
and all,
told
they
you.
were embarrassed that हमारी एक ही बेटी हमको मिली है और वो शायद blind है. They were not going out and all that.
Yes, that is true.
Thank you.
Yes, so I hope everybody understood. I also said this because now I feel, was I not clear telling this? It is only she first time opens the eyes when Krishna peeps from the cradle and looks to Radharani, and he looks behind. I wanted to give an example that why did Krishna go to her? Because if he needs supreme pleasure, she's a Kanti, she's the reservoir of all the pleasures for Krishna. And I took to some other topic saying that, he's complete Atmaram. We say he's Atmaram. But that is the first time.
Beautiful, Prabhu. It's beautiful. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Shall we end the session, Prabhuji, with prayers?
Yes, Mataji, all done.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnaveebhyo Kripa Sindhubhyo eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnaveebhyo Namo Namah. Anant Koti Vaishnavavrin ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, devotees.
Thank
See
you,
you all
Prabhu.
tomorrow.
Thank you,
As it's
Prabhuji,
already
wonderful
11 o'clock,
class.
I'll have to end the session. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Shall I end the session, Prabhuji?
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yes. And